Support emails pile up fast. What's your shipping policy? Or where can I make a refund? You end up answering the same questions over and over again. That kills focus, and honestly, customers don't want to wait hours for a reply. So I built an AI agent that does it all for me. Here's how I built an AI agent that reads my emails, applies the right label, checks my company's knowledge base, and then sends me a message in Slack asking me for my approval before sending a reply automatically. No typing, no stress. You'll never have to write another email again. So watch this. Sam Solutions sent me an email asking, "Hi Chris, what is your shipping policy?" Now watch this. As soon as the email is triggered, the email agent checks the company's knowledge and then searches for the right label to categorize the email before generating a response. It then drafts a reply and sends an email directly to my Slack channel asking me to approve it. So here in Slack, we can see the approval message. Here's the original email, "Hi Chris, what's your shipping policy?" And here's the approval request. "Hi Sam, thanks for reaching out. Our shipping policy offers both standard and express shipping, etc., etc." You can see that the AI agent has referenced our knowledge base and it's found the correct answer for our shipping policy. So as soon as I click approve, we'll send the message back and then we'll go to our workflow and you'll see it's successfully sent the reply to Sam Solutions. And here you can see that Sam Solutions has received the email reply instantly. So let's go ahead and build this. So before you begin, there are a couple things that you'll need to have set up. Firstly, you'll need to have a knowledge base on Google Drive so that the AI agent can get the answers and reply back to the emails. Secondly, you'll need to have a Slack workspace and set up an n8n app. If you don't know how to do this, watch this video right here. And lastly, make sure that you've configured a Gmail credential. Okay, so the very first thing we need to do is add a new email trigger. I've simply connected this to my Gmail account and it will be on every message received that will trigger this workflow. The next step is to create our email agent. So I'll double click in here. So you'll see I've configured the AI agent to have two parts. The first part is the prompt. In the prompt, I've said categorize this email. I've passed through the from, name, subject, as well as the content. I've given instructions, please analyze this email and apply appropriate labels using the available tools. Use a get a document in the Google's Doc tool to get the info from the company's knowledge base and then draft the email reply. Underneath that, I've got the system message. I've defined it as you are an email categorization assistant. I've told them the task is to analyze emails and apply appropriate labels. I've told them that they have access to the following tools: get all labels, add labels, Google Docs. And then I've provided step-by-step instructions. So the first step is to always use the get all labels to see what available categories I have. 2 is to analyze the email content for the subject, sender, keywords, and context. And then 3, apply 1 to 3 of the most relevant labels per email. So this might mean it's support, it's marketing, it's urgent, those sort of things. Then I've said, be consistent in your categorizations patterns. If unsure between labels, choose the most specific one. The last 2 steps is to always use the get a document in the Google Docs tool to get the company's knowledge base. So this will then retrieve the information. So that would include stuff about our shipping policies, return policies, and other sorts of frequently asked questions. Lastly, I've said to draft an email, and then I've defined the response format. So draft an email response, do not include any other commentary or text, and sign off as regards Chris. The most important part is the output must always be in this format. Make sure you've ticked require a specific output format. And we'll just go to our structured output parser and you'll see here it's exactly the same JSON structure, which includes the subject, email, and label. If we click out of there, I've added the model as ChatGPT's GPT 4.1 mini, and this will do the job just perfectly. And then I've given it access to these 3 tools. So the get all labels, which gets all of the different labels that are available in my Google workspace. So I've customized these to filter for support, marketing, leads, and etc. So what this tool does is it gets all of the labels so that the AI agent can apply the correct one to the email. The next one is add a label, and this is exactly the same. We're just using the output from that get all labels and picking the most correct ones to apply to this email. The last tool that I've added is get a document in Google Docs. And here I've just connected it to my Google Docs account. I've said the resource is a document and the operation is get, and I've passed in the URL to our knowledge base, which includes all of the frequently asked questions. So the next step after that is once the email agent has correctly categorized the email, we'll use an if condition to determine whether the email is for support or not. So we'll say, does the JSON output label contain the word support? If no, do nothing. And that's where this workflow would end. It would just have categorized it as a newsletter. But if the label does contain the word support, then we'll go ahead and send a Slack message and wait for a response. So you'll see here, I've connected to my Slack account. What we'll do here is set the operation to send and wait for a response. We send the message to my channel, which is help-n8n, and I've configured the message. So you'll see the new email received for approval from name subject, as well as the content. And then below that is the approval request. So this is the proposed subject, as well as the proposed email that the AI agent has drafted for us. So when I go back into Slack, you'll see I'll be able to click on the approve button. Once I click on the approve, this sends the message back to our n8n workflow to continue to the next node. And finally, our last node is a reply to message. So once we receive the approval, we'll reply to the message. I've connected my Gmail account. The resource is a message. The operation is reply. I've added the message ID from the original new email trigger so that when it replies, it continues the same thread, and you'll see in the other email, it said reply. Finally, we'll do our email type as text, and then we'll take the message that the email agent has drafted and has been approved and use that to send back to SAM Solutions. One last quick tip is to always turn off append n8n attribution. Otherwise, you'll get that line at the bottom of the email address. If you've ever sent emails using n8n before, you'll know what I'm talking about. So that's the AI agent, a Gmail trigger, an auto labeler, a get knowledge base, a send Slack approval, and a reply to the message node. Once I activate this workflow, my inbox will basically run itself. Join my automation vault if you want this free template. The link's in the bio. And don't forget to subscribe for more n8n tutorials.